Mr. Schuster, I was in a restaurant and had to go to the ladies' room. I walked by the kitchen door, ended up slipping like I was on ice. I ended up breaking my knee and needed surgery. The floor was really greasy where I fell, although I didn't really see anything. I don't know why I fell. Do I have a claim?
Well, caller, it's in a premises case, I have to say you may have a claim. It's premises liability cases are a little tricky. Now, when a customer comes onto a business establishment, the business owner owes a duty of reasonable care to keep the premises in a reasonably safe condition. They've recently changed the law as it comes to transitory substances, that is, things that fall on the floor. Water, ice cream, something somebody may drop. And they've changed the rule that the restaurant's not automatically responsible for that. You've got to show that they knew or should have known that it was there and they had an opportunity to do something about it. In your situation, it's a little different because you indicated that your fall was by the kitchen door. And it's been my experience in restaurants that there are a lot of waiters and waitresses going in and out of the kitchen door, and oftentimes they spill things, and oftentimes they're tracking grease out of the kitchen into that area immediately in front of the door. And that is an area that the restaurant has to concentrate on keeping clean, keeping mats down, keeping it safe, because it's foreseeable that it's going to be slippery and that somebody could hurt. So in your particular case, I would have to go out to the restaurant and look. It would be necessary, probably be necessary to get into litigation and start taking the depositions of employees that work there as to what their procedures are, necessary to get manuals from the corporation as to what their safety procedures are. But it's you still may very well have a claim, in large part from what you've told me based on where your accident occurred in the restaurant.
And it also, Charlie, in this day and age, I had a slip fall about 10 years ago, and it was hotly contested about what she did, where she was, and we were able to get the videotape. Sometimes you never know whether there's a video camera in this day and age, and if it's preserved, and sometimes as lawyers, we write them a letter immediately telling them not to destroy any videotapes that may exist. And we've had a few cases, I've had parking lot cases and whatever. In that particular case, it was a slip fall in like a K-store. And it was exactly the way my lady said it. The videotape confirmed it. I had to fight to get the videotape. They didn't want to give it to me, but the judge ordered that they would give it to me. And finally, they ultimately settled, but they were fighting and disputing everything my client said until the video came out. So a picture is worth 1,000 words.
It certainly is.
In this day and age, that's what we're trying to do. And,
yep.
and Charlie made up another good point. I think he's very good at this. Charlie does way more slip falls than I do. And getting those safety manuals, if they have violated their own rules, because those safety manuals are rules for their company, and if their own manager didn't know the rules or the employees are not trained properly, there could be negligence there. So it takes a lot of work. Those cases, as Charlie just mentioned, are litigated more because there is no police officer that comes to the scene. There is no accident report. And so the only way to really investigate those cases is with depositions, which means a lawsuit. So anyway, it's always worth a look. We look at them. Charlie looks at them. He takes some, and some he doesn't take. There's this whole myth that lawyers take every case that walks in the door. We try to look at them, see if it has merit. Is there liability? Is a person injured? And if we really think it's worthwhile, we will pursue it. Charlie, anything else you want to add on slip falls about techniques or?
Well, it's the most important thing you can do in a slip and fall accident is whip out your cell phone and start taking pictures. Because if you can identify what the subject was that you tripped on or slipped in, trust me, later it won't be there. And in those situations where a person really doesn't know what happened to them and why they fell, those are the most difficult ones to handle. So in addition to the video that Terry's talking about, which is extremely helpful, the ability to record what happened through photographs goes a long way to helping us do our job.
And that's changed. It's funny how society, we're starting to see all these police brutality cases across America that, oops, there's a videotape, and all of a sudden the officer's got a problem. We're seeing that with car wrecks too. So car wrecks, a lot of times people are taking pictures of the skid marks, they're taking pictures of the car still together, before they're even moved. That's a good idea in this day and age. So with everybody, in the old days, nobody would carry a camera around. Now, if you have a cell phone, you got a camera, and so technology has really changed, and we're starting to see that in the courtroom now. And these pictures are admissible if you take them.